Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, and today we're going to go over four brand new decks, including two that feature the new card coming to Marvel Snap today, Prodigy. I think Prodigy is going to be a really interesting card that has the potential to be a powerful card, and I truly believe it will be the best card of the month. Stay tuned to find out why, but first we got to talk about Smiles Surger. This is one of the two very meta Surfer decks right now. We have the one that we've featured multiple times at this point from our friend Heart of the Cards. Now Smiles has this other Surger as using Surge to play an extra 4 drop. Smiles is in the top 10 of the leaderboard under the name Biggie Smiles, if you would like to check it out. This deck needs Galacta and Captain Carter. Gwenpool can be Absorbing Man, you lose a fair amount, but it is an acceptable replacement. Makari and Fastos can be Hope or Luna. Sam can be US Agent or Forge, and Surge can be Zabu. I'm not in love with cutting Surge here. This is the best home for Surge in Silver Surfer by an awful lot. So let's go card by card and talk about what this deck is doing. First, we have Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson adds a movable power that really helps with Captain Carter and making sure that she gets her buff and making sure that things work. Outside of that, it's really here just as a good card. It's a card that you're happy to play on turn two. It could protect you from Red Guardian for your like Galacta, Carter, and Gwenpool. Sorry, Galacta and Carter. Gwenpool doesn't care. That's nice. It's not amazing here. It's here because it's the best in slot generic 2 drop. Surge is a very important card in this list. Not only does the buff become a +3 on Brood or Captain Carter, even if you just hold them at that point, you're playing Surge as a 2/5. That's worthwhile stats. It's really good on Makari, who can play herself and count. Fastos as a 2/5 is all of a sudden a great card. Mobius as a 2/4 is all of a sudden very helpful, letting you do things on turn four, like play a Sam Wilson and one of those other cards if you don't see your Galactor or Gwenpool. And of course, the goal here is to get Galactor or Gwenpool on turn three with Surge. It's going to feel a little wasted. You're going to hit Surfer and Juggernaut a fair amount of the time, but almost everything else is a card that you're happy to hit. Brood and Captain Carter are where your power in this deck comes from. They amplify every nerf. Every point on each of them is potentially tripled, which is obviously a huge amount. That works great with Surge, it works great with Surfer, it works with Galacta, and it works with Gwenpool. Those are your key targets here. Surfer is Surfer, it's the buff. Galacta is the buff. Gwenpool is the buff. I don't know how to explain those in any greater detail. You use them to buff, hopefully, Brood and Carter, but you're happy to buff everything else in the meantime. Juggernaut is your way to win lanes on the cheap, fundamentally. At the end of the game, you would like Juggernaut to steal a lane cheaply. That's not always going to happen against Thanos, but it's pretty good against almost everything else. Mobius is your counter. There's still a lot of negative in the meta. There's also a lot of Surge and Esme Cuckoo, both of the Season Pass and last week's Spotlight card. And so Mobius gives you some play into that. Makari is a free at least 4 power, oftentimes 6, and sometimes more if it gets hit by Gwenpool power. All of that's really cool. Or Fastos. Fastos gives you cards cheaper. Cards cheaper is obviously powerful in this list, or it buffs. Buffs are also very powerful. If you're playing a 2/4 Surge later, that feels much better. And getting that extra power on Brood and Carter likewise feels great. Copycat is the most unpredictable card in the game. It is an absolute cube thief because of that. If you're playing if you're playing against Affliction and they've got your Luke Cage, for example, the opponent will have no way of knowing that. You can snap effectively and efficiently using that card to steal a bunch of power at the end of the game. Sometimes you get like a 3/5 Sage, which is just absurd power. Stuff like that is game winning from Copycat, and you just sort of take the games where you lose it. But hey, a lot of times right now, what you're going to end up with is one of Thanos' stones, and a 3/5 draw card is also pretty damn nice. And again, Galactic and Gwenpool are just power spikes in this deck. So Smiles is currently ranked 10. He's been all around the top 10 with this list. I believe he peaked at around rank 6. Turn 1 is passed. Turn 2, Sage over Sam. Turn 3, if you can play Galactic Gwenpool, you likely want to snap that. That's better than Fastos, which is better than Mobius. Mobius can go up the list if you have a key opponent problem. Particularly against Thanos, you really want to get Mobius out as soon as possible because trapping the Mockingbird in hand is one of the best ways to beat that deck right now. You can also copycat if it's good and when it fits from any turn on. Remember that you can often snap copycat, but it's hard to know. Against negative, you can also snap Mobius, but again, it's hard to know for sure. Turn 4 is the same basic thing as turn 3, nothing really changes. Turn 5 is Brood or Carter and a 2 drop, and if you've got a 3 for 2 from Fastos or Surge, this is a very good time for that. Turn 6 is Juggernaut, Brood, or Carter plus Surfer, and then you should be able to win because this deck puts up just enough power with just enough control while to be really, really effective into the meta right now. This is, in my opinion, right now in a fundamental tie for the second best surfer in the game, but it is one of the highest ranked surfers. Again, Hard Surfer, the Fenris Wolf version, is slightly higher ranked and has slightly better stats overall. But if you're looking for a way to play Surge in Surfer, this is where you 100% want to be. Before we get to Prodigy, please hit that sub, like, and comment as we bring you 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos, more Marvel Snap content than anyone in the game. We stream somewhere between 5 and 7 days a week as well. So if you're interested in the most Marvel Snap content of anyone, including exclusive decks you cannot get anywhere else before anyone else gives them to you, please hit that sub, hit that like, and hit that comment. In addition, we'll be giving away an Esme Cuckoo this week. If you're looking for last week's Esme Cuckoo winners, we had 5. That was in, I believe, Sunday's video. Meanwhile, we'll be giving away an Esme Cuckoo this week and for every week for the rest of the season. If you do a sub, like, and then leave a specific comment. What that comment is asked later in the video. Changes daily as a way to, hopefully get you to watch and engage a little bit with the content. Hopefully you enjoy. All right, Prodigy is a 3/4. On reveal, if this card is in the back row, copy the text of the card in front of it. That seems like it's going to be really hard to do, except that this isn't an ongoing, right? It can copy an ongoing, it can copy an on reveal, it can copy a triggered ability, it can copy anything. If it copies the ongoing, it will get the ongoing. It seems like this is going to be really hard to do, but cards like Jeff and Sam Wilson make it actually far easier than it looks like to pull this off. If you play, for example, Galacta in a lane, and then you move a shield into that lane, you now have a second card in that lane. You can drop Prodigy and copy that Galacta, copy that Gwenpool in that way. You can do the same basic thing for Carter, and then once Prodigy moves to the front, the on reveal has already activated. Now you've got a 3/2 Carter and a 3/4 Carter in the front. That seems like it's going to be really strong. This doesn't seem to me like it's going to be as hard to use as many are considering. I'm not sure this is the right meta for the card right now because a lot of mid-range things have taken a backseat because Thanos is just that strong that it's chasing a lot of things away. But if this can survive the constant barrage of Thanos, I think it's going to be very good. And either way, because this just gets better the more things it has to copy, I think eventually this card ends up in a very, very powerful place. We're going to look at a couple Prodigy decks. We're going to start with one coming up next, and that one I will all but promise you works because I played it without Prodigy and it works without Prodigy, and Prodigy seems incredibly powerful based on the way the deck plays. And then we'll look at another toward the end of the video. So this is from Cougar and Cam Worst. Coup in the Worst. It is the return of the Passler. This is an Infinity Ultron Passler, and let me just tell you, Agamotto and Infinity Ultron both feel amazing in this list. I wish I was joking. I played this list for 4 games and plus 16 cubes. I won 2 8 cubers and then 1 2 lost 2 1 2 lost 2. This deck feels absolutely absurd. You're doing very, very, very powerful things, and we're going to even go into how you can do some of those powerful things on your own. But I love this list. I'm going to be playing the crap out of this on stream later today. I should be streaming hopefully about 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. So you can find Cougar streaming at twitch.tv/Cougar, 2 O's and 3 R's. He's a new streamer. He just made affiliate yesterday, so go show some love. With help from Cam Worst. Cam Worst made a few tweaks to the list, and Cam Worst is very high ranked right now. We'll get to that rank later because I don't have it memorized, to be perfectly honest. This deck needs Galacta, Agamotto, Sam Wilson, and Surge. Those 4 are your non-negotiable cards. We really do want Luna and Infinity Ultron here, but you can play a fair enough version without the Luna Infinity Ultron if you don't have them. You can go Iron Man and Esme at that point, and you basically get some extra value out of the deck that way if you're willing to run those cards. I do think that Luna and Infinity Ultron are incredible here. Infinity Ultron has literally never felt better in a deck, including the Hela deck, than this one to me. If you don't have Luna, but you do have if you don't have Luna, you have to cut Infinity Ultron. Now you're just gonna go Shang and Zabu. King Eitri and Iron Patriot can be Zabu and Kate. Prodigy has been Red Guardian. That's how I tested it, and can be Rogue if you don't get Prodigy. So Coup and the Worst. This is the return of the Passler. So King Eitri draws a card, almost always in this list. Any card that draws you a card that consistently is pretty good. And Agamotto has 2 spells that are absolutely key. It's got 2 other spells that are fine here, but 2 spells that are absolutely key. You very much want Balthak, you very much want Icon. What we're ultimately using Prodigy for here is an extra icon, right? An extra way to get that Galacta or Gwenpool trigger to win games. So King Eitri gets you those key cards. Quinjet makes them really cheap. That cheapness is extra good here. Particularly, I'm not as big a fan as many are of the Winds of Watum, but Quinjet with Winds of Watum feels ridiculously good. When it costs 1 to give your opponent -5 and mess up their plays, you are just so far ahead. It's really, really good at clogging Thanos, which often doesn't have that much of board space to begin with. Uh, if they're not, especially if they're not playing Strange Supreme or they don't get the Strange Supreme out early, you can really ruin their day and get a good snap off with that Quinjet and Balthak play. Quinjet has multiple other uses in this deck. It's not only good for Agamotto spells, it makes Infinity Ultron Stones too, which is going to be key to several of our strategies, and it makes Iron Patriot's card 1 cheaper. Sam Wilson is just a nice, simple power spike. It's his shield has some uses here, right? Its shield has that prodigy use as discussed earlier, but it can also obviously work to protect your cards from a guardian, particularly Galacta. And it can also be wonderful for images of icon. Turning that shield into an extra Galacta, an extra Agamotto, an extra Infinity Ultron is a very, very, very powerful thing to be doing in Marvel Snap. So Sam has many uses here beyond just being a good old 2/7. From there, Surge. Surge is really good. She's sort of backup Luna in this list. Getting an Infinity Ultron out on turn 4 is so much more powerful than turn 5, especially because that will be a 4/9. I was able to pull that off in one of my 8 cube wins. Galactic and Gwenpool for 3 are also likewise incredible. And hey, secret, Prodigy for 2 as a 2/5 seems like a freaking utterly broken card to me. So Surge has a lot of really powerful uses, even if it's just like sneaking in a free Quinjet. I was able to do that as well, sneaking in a free King Eitri and passing the chain along. These are all very, very good uses. Surge is really, really solid in this list. Iron Patriot's a very swingy card. Many times you're going to want Kate Bishop, but you're really worried about hand space. So generating one card is probably better than two here. It also, when you don't see like the right stuff, can give you a card to play at the end of the game with Juggernaut, which is a very useful and powerful thing to do. Juggernaut is your late turn game winner. Um, it's Juggernaut. We know what Juggernaut does at this point. Prodigy's main targets in this deck are Galacta, Gwenpool, and some Infinity Ultron stones, but you're really trying to hit Galacta or Gwenpool. You're using it as sort of an extra icon. If you can hit Galacta, that's nice, but you really would love to hit Gwenpool and give an extra +6 to your hand. Your opponent will have no idea where that power is or where it's going, and it's very easy to win that way. My big loss with this list, and I did lose one big game with this, was I doubled up my Gwenpool and I made a 10 power Luna, and they played a Shang-Chi in the right lane. If I had hit Luna once instead of twice with my Gwenpool, I would have won that lane and won the game. And because I hit it twice, I ended up losing that game to Thanos. So like again, there's just a lot of stuff here. That's a lot of power, and I think Prodigy being able to copy that stuff and being able to say you only have one Shang, let's go, seems very strong. Luna ramps you into Infinity Ultron while also letting you do one of my favorite things in the game. It lets you Galacta and Eitri, Galacta and Gwenpool on turn 4. Either of those are absolutely incredible. Don't be afraid to ramp into Agamotto if you don't think your opponent has the Shang-Chi, but generally speaking, I prefer not to play Agamotto. He's here for the spells. Galacta and Gwenpool are your big power spikes, copying either with Icon or using them with Balthac so you can play them in extra cards at the same time are all incredibly powerful things to do. uh, a thing that would make sense to do is you can go Gwenpool and then you can copy that with Prodigy and Balthac. You can Gwenpool on turn 4, copy that with Prodigy and Balthac if any of them are surged, or if you had played Luna on 3, which are all just wildly powerful things to be doing in Marvel Snap as a rule. Infinity Ultron's incredible here. The stones seem really good because you're able to get them out early, and then you can copy them. You can copy Infinity Ultron. You can use Prodigy to make extra stones from Infinity Ultron when they all cost 2. That's incredibly strong. You can use whatchamacallit, the images of Icon to make the Infinity Ultron lane completely insane. At that point, you should probably get a double of Infinity Ultron, and then you're also, because you've got so many stones, fairly likely to also get the make a drone of Infinity Ultron, which is just game-winningly powerful, all around great. And again, Agamotto is here largely for Icon and Balthac, which are insanely powerful spells, but you're not sad to see Winds of Watum. The last one is whatever, but it gives you something to do with extra energy once in a while, and you're not super sad to have it. All right, so Cam Worst is rank 16 with this list right now. King Ichi or Quinjet is turn 1, depending on your hand. Turn 2, Balthac over Surge, which is more or less equal to Sam, which is better than Iron Patriot. If you can get Quinjet into Balthac and you have Ultron, Galactic, Gwenpool in hand, do so. Get them out early. Have fun. Turn 3, Ultron, Galactic, or Gwenpool if you can. Any of those are snaps. Those are better than Luna Snow. Turn 4, Balthac or Galacta, Gwenpool, Ultron. Same concept as before. Turn 5, Icon and Balthac, or the turn 4 plays after Balthac. Prodigy on Galacta is fine. Prodigy on Gwenpool is fine as well. Then turn 6, Stones and Juggernaut go to town. And remember, if you've got Quinjet out, if you snuck an Etrian, you can do extra combos of these things because so much of your deck gets cheaper as you go. Some extra combos for this list that Cougar was able to pull off that he told me about. He was able to go Quinjet into Balthac into Infinity Ultron, which gives you 2 stones to play on turn 4, because you can now play those 2 stones on turn 4 thanks to them costing 2 from the Quinjet, which is just a wildly powerful early play. Quinjet into whatever, into Luna. Now you can Infinity Ultron. And then the next turn you can play Mind Stone and Gwen or Balthac, which is just stupid energy or stupid extra power. You can also, like, I was able to go I beat a Iron Man on Onslaught Citadel because I had an Infinity Ultron on Onslaught Citadel, and then I had Mind Stone and the Power Stone, and I just dropped the Mind Stone into the Power Stone on that Onslaught Citadel and said, let's do that. And was able to just spike up to like 100 power. I did that against Parry, poor Parry, sorry. Our friend, the great Parry Manilow, who you should check out. You can do Quinjet into whatever, to Luna, to Ultron, into Images of Icon, or now not just Images of Icon, or Prodigy, to fill your hand with 2-cost stones. And at that point, you can play 3 2-cost stones on 6. Lovely, lovely ways to put power on the board. This list is awesome. I am convinced Prodigy will be really good here, but even if you don't get Prodigy, you can try Red Guardian. Originally, there was a Zabu over an Iron Patriot and a Ms. Marvel in this list as well. I think the better curve is more important for this list, as much as I really do enjoy Ms. Marvel, but this list is kind of a beast, and you should definitely give this a play, especially if you plan to get Prodigy and have access to what is honestly a fairly absurdly expensive list now that I think about it. I think there's only 2 lower series cards here, but I do think Prodigy will be really good here. I hope this deck is great just because I need something great that's not Thanos. I, again, rocked with this. My small sample works. Cam Worst is climbing to the top of the Infinite Leaderboard. I'm pretty damn sure that this is completely legit and a real major deck. Before we go forward, please check out twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. I should be live at about 8 p.m. I'm going to play every single Prodigy deck I can find, so we'll have a good idea of how good Prodigy is tomorrow. Don't feel like you have to buy the card right away. I will be spending my week giving you the best reviews of it possible from as many people as possible to make sure that you're up to date on it. Our season pass question, we haven't done this in a while. It's just free parking, which means say whatever you want. Feel free to vent about something in your life, something in Marvel Snap, to say positive things, to say whatever you want. It is absolute free parking. Say what you would like to as our season pass question for today. Next up, we've got Emma Midtech. This is from our friend Emma on Twitter, who's absolutely crushing with this simple version of a control mid-range deck. This is sort of an update on what we looked at earlier um, as the I lost his name as the Shurian Droid deck. Shurian Droid had a fairly similar deck that was running like Athena combo. This one says Athena's a lot of extra work. Why don't we just go more all in on making sure everything works? And a lot of people are heading in with this. A lot of people are climbing with this, and this is another top of the Infinite Leaderboard deck. You can find Emma at twitter.com/Emma_BN. This deck needs Galactan Surge. Sam can be Kate or Iron Patriot. Gwenpool can be Ms. or Captain Marvel. Hope and Elsa can be Prodigy, Red Guardian, or Rogue. All right, so Kitty Pride is really, really good here. Obviously, if you're running Elsa and Hope Summers, it gives you a card to bounce on those and gain extra power in the process. Zabu makes your forest cost 3 and is thus arguably the most important card in the deck. It and Surge, you would very much like your last turn to be something like Killmonger and Enchantress, Killmonger and Shang-Chi, and Zabu helps you get there. You'd also very much like to play Galactor Gwenpool on turn 3. Once more, Zabu. Sam Wilson here does not have any of the extra uses except for Elsa Bloodstone. It can help you fill in Elsa Bloodstone lane as you so choose, which is a nice thing to be able to do relatively early in a game of Snap. From there, we're going to go Surge. Surge is a nice simple power card. Again, Mobius with that extra power feels really good. So does Killmonger, so does Elsa, so does Hope. But you're really trying to take Shang-Chi, Galacta, Enchantress, and Gwenpool. Getting any of those to 3 either for turn 3 or at the end of the game, in the case of Shang and Enchantress, is incredibly strong. To Thanos meta. I don't know if you've noticed, Thanos is about 25% of the meta right now. So whenever 4 games, at least where I'm playing, you should expect to see Thanos, which means that Killmonger can absolutely wreck them if played at the right time. It's also very good against the Batrock that's around. That we're seeing occasional bounce decks and so on. Killmonger's just a really good card to have access to here. He plays for like a 3/13 fairly often. Mobius shuts down negative and makes sure that like Mockingbird can't come out. It's reasonably often going to be your play on 3 and annoy you when it has to be so, but when it is game-winningly strong. Elsa is a power spike. You've got 3 power spikes in this list. They're Elsa, Bloodstone, Galactic, and Gwenpool. They're your ways of getting enough power on the board to win the game. Hope gives you enough energy. Again, we really want our last turn to be combinations of control cards, and Hope helps us get there, along with Surge and Zabu. Shang and Enchantress are those control cards to which I refer, and then Galactic and Gwenpool are the other power spikes. With this list, Emma is rank 9. Emma was rank 1. They only play a little bit during the course of the season. They always like start off really, really heavy, and then they play a little less until they trail off. They're in their trail off phase now, but this is still an absolutely phenomenal list. Turn 1, we want Zabu over Kitty, and Zabu can be a snap, so can Surge, depending on what they hit. Zabu over Kitty on 1, Surge over Sam on 2. I might play Zabu over Sam if all my fours are still in the deck as well. Turn 3, Galacta or Gwenpool, which are snap conditions, over Hope, over Elsa, and Mobius is a just fine play. Turn 4, Galacta over Gwenpool, over Elsa or Hope, +1. Turn 5, 4+1 or 3+1, use a control card if you need multiple. Sometimes you'll have to Enchantress here a turn early, for example. Sometimes they'll have Thanos out and they won't have they'll have Thanos out through whatever cheapy ways, or they'll have an Mockingbird in a lane that makes her a 10, and you can just Shang it right away. Feel free to do that kind of thing here. And then Monger, Shang, Enchantress combo off at the end of the game, and those have enough power to win games because of Galacta, Gwenpool, and Elsa. Really cool list. Props to Emma for coming up with it. I think this one is kind of a beast. This is, if you loved old Sarah, this is an old Sarah list that just plays a more aggressive style. Hey, our friend Obhaved is giving away $220 in prizes on his streams. Make sure you go check out Obhaved. That's Obihave, where he is streaming regularly, and at the beginning and end of every stream and during every ad break, he's running Marble Snap. That's Marbles Snap. That's a big old raffle where he has like marbles races during the breaks. You enter for totally free, and you can get gold passes. You can, if you get the best clip of his gameplay, you can get gold passes. You can win season passes, bundles, and all sorts of great stuff. So make sure you check out twitch.tv/obehaved for this. Next up, we've got Zadrex. Zadrex is a prodigy. We haven't featured a Zadrex deck in forever on the channel, but Zadrex is awesome and has a really, really cool prodigy idea. I made one tweak here. I'll tell you what it is momentarily, but I made one tweak from his sample deck. I think that this list is going to be very hard to deal with. Again, unless your opponent's running Enchantress, I'm not sure what you do to stop this. You can find Zadrex at twitch.tv/Zadrex74. This deck needs Athena, Carter, and Sam. Those three are your non-negotiables. Although the more I think about it, the more I'm like, maybe we might not end up needing Athena because our energy curve might be a little tight, and maybe we can do like an Angela or something. I don't know. The deck hasn't come out yet, so this is very theory. I think you do need Carter and Sam. Galactic can be Gwenpool or Ms. Marvel here. I'm partial to Gwenpool. I don't think Ms. Marvel will be that good here. Elsa can be Hope Summers. I think that is a reasonable change to make, and I don't think that would hurt the deck very much. Moonstone is Ant-Man in the Zadrex original. I think if I'm running specifically the cards Captain Carter and Speed, I'm going to want Moonstone as a way to just sort of spike and try and steal games. I can do that even at the end of the game thanks to Surge and still pull things off. Speed can be any big good three, but at that point you really don't want to run Moonstone. Uh, but Speed can be any big good three. Think Gladiator. Jeff can be Nightcrawler here without losing too much. Obviously, so could that Ant-Man spot. And Surge can be Zabu. I think Surge is once more reasonably important here, but Zabu should be totally fine as a replacement, although you're not running a ton of fours. So, card by card. Kitty gives you access to Athena and access to Elsa buffs. That is fundamentally the role of Kitty in this deck. Kitty is like the best Surge hit around because getting that zero cost Kitty is amazing. Outside of that, I just think Kitty is generally good at triggering some extra power and being an extra play and not really messing anything up. Great card in the list overall. Athena is the card you're trying to buff with Kitty, the card you're trying to buff by getting those extra plays off of Surge. Even if you get Athena to a 2-6 or so with Iron Man, that's obviously a really powerful play, especially with everything else this deck is doing. Sam Wilson is a requirement fundamentally in Prodigy decks as near as I can think of it, because Sam Wilson lets you make sure that the right thing is in the back row. Sam is also obviously still great with Captain Carter. Surge has only one really great buff target here, Captain Carter herself, where remember the buff gets tripled if you get two cards behind her. But what she's really trying to do is either allow you to play two cards or allow you to Galacta, Moonstone, Prodigy, Elsa for cheaper, and thus get some combos of cards off and make Athena better, and thus she's very, very powerful in this list. Jeff can move to enable your Carter, Prodigy, etc. combos, while also just, again, working really well with Elsa. Carter is one of your big power spikes, and the reason I added Moonstone to the list, because I want two ways to copy Carter to get in free, easy lane from them. One way is to use Prodigy, one way is to use Moonstone, and again, I have Speed as sort of my backup Moonstone here, as just like if I get like a 3-7, 3-8 Speed, right? Adding 6 or 7 power to Moonstone, and then you've got like 20 power lane all of a sudden. Speed is there for that reason. Elsa is a nice big buff. Prodigy can copy any of the on reveals, which is really sorry the ongoing or on reveal abilities. There's a few cards I wouldn't really mind hitting at all. I'm perfectly happy to hit Captain Carter with this. Obviously, I could hit Elsa, get double Elsa buffs. Hitting speed is not the worst thing I've ever seen. Galacta is an absolutely key hit. Hitting Moonstone feels incredibly strong. Could do a third speed in the lane. It seems pretty good. And of course, hitting Iron Man is really nice. Galactus are good power spike. Moonstone we talked about already, and Iron Man again is a turn 5. Just like I don't want to play that in the Moonstone lane, right? I don't want to play that with Carter, but now I've got these two big lanes to force the opponent to deal with. So our friend Zadrex cooked. Make sure you go check him out. Turn 1 Kitty. Turn 2 Esme over Sam over Thena. Turn 3 if you can get Galactor or Moonstone down, do so. Carter if you have Moonstone or Prodigy. Then Thena +1 is better than Elsewhere Speed. Turn 4, Galacta over Moonstone over 3+1. Turn 5, Iron Man or Prodigy Carter Plus. Then turn 6, some combination of Speed, Prodigy, and Carter. You can do several of them at the end of the game and really just go off and win. This list is a beaut. I don't know what else to say. I'm very excited to try it. This is another one that I'm looking forward to starting with on stream. So make sure you're there so we can play this list and show you just how good Prodigy is going to be. The card of the season, friends. I'm calling it right here, right now. If you are interested, this is the wrong order. We have the stream team. We have some of our friends streaming for us. Obhaved does a stream specifically for us on Sundays, but today is Tuesday, so Prashan should be playing some of these lists around noon if you're interested in checking out our friend. And that's it. That's going to be the end of the video. We have a Patreon on this channel where we are currently for the $10 patrons and up giving away our only two of the new packs bundle because those who support me the most are those who I would like to support while I have a limited supply. If I get more, we'll do some giveaways of those on the channel, but they also get an exclusive video. We get a shout out in every video. So please check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. It would mean a lot. Thank you to our patron of the month, Bricks to Click, the great Abigail Gleason. What's up, AG? Mandatory Burnout. How you doing, MB? It regardless, that's only an I. Always kind, LABEI, Inc. EIO. We don't have EIEIO. Inc. The Graphite Fan. I am Frostman, sure are. Hota Nevarete, Thinking Poker of that podcast. Prime Ryan of Prime Mind app. Ryan Burke of Ryan Burke fame. I don't know. He's Ryan Burke Avenue. Ryan Wood. Check out Ryan Wood Snap on YouTube. Ryan Wrench. Caretix Lee, the King of Questions, who's given me a whole freaking podcast episode to make. I just have to find time. Koi Ray, rude but accidentally rude sometimes. Kazushi, wonderful and kind, keeps winning things from me. Way to be, Kazushi. Archangel 3K, that's 4Ks in a row. Black Dahlia, Parofros, The Goat Seeker, Goatsy, and Code, Alliance Leader Crew. Hallowed, Only Fox, Synth, what's up, Synth? Fat Nick, Absolute Shannon, how you doing, Shannon? Nightmare, Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Kerfuffin, Around Cables, Travel in the World, Ginger Primes, up Ginger, Philly, Haplo, what's happening? Kenny Loggins with the Jane Zone, The Notorious Beza, Black Jeep is 23, who's also notorious, Extras V and Skippy G, Rhyming Friends, Jessica Gamble, hello Jess, Mr. Slush Death, The King of Bros, Bro, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, ooh, Kev, Hoda, hey Kev, Luna Chris, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Bricks to Click is actually our patron of the month, Rob Silverman, M. Holland, David G. Wingfield, DG, what's up? Stephen, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B., Mr. Craig Starry, and special guest Matt V., along with new star Corey, Real Name Town getting huge, Corbin, John Q, and Jim McHugh, Q Town, Ya Stout, ETH, Sage, One Big Man, Milkman for Reels, Cactus Jack, Reapser, BG, Quid Pro Joe. How you doing, Joe? Snap Decisions Joe. Check out the Snap Decisions podcast, please. The best daily podcast in the whole damn game. I need to go on the show, Joe. Then we have DeCarlo, who you should check out a stream of. He streams all day, almost always. Models, Mod Supreme, how you doing, Mod? Bickety Boom Bot, the Green Goblin, our favorite Osborne, Unit Unibot, Flan 56, the Fuzzy Della, Spectrumix, Hoot, Aku, Ocularis, Sup Aku, Matt H, DJ, Mikey, Hijinks, no frickin' flex, Nick, the Greek Geek, check him out on Twitch, as well as Toxic Soul King while you're there, and Zadrex74, we just saw a deck from him on Twitch, King of Canada, check him out on Twitch, Denman Falcon on YouTube, also, how you doing, Denman? I see that you're hopefully getting into the big tournament coming, Thorn Newman on both Twitch and YouTube, Jonesy, Triple Threat on YouTube, needs more love, show it to it, the great Two Ties, who does in fact wear two ties, our friend Lauren Whatevs, who hosts the Snap on This Pod, Tucker, Snap, snapping on YouTube, rivaling on Twitch, also snapping on Twitch, and he's also on the oh my god, I forgot the name of his podcast. Uh, the word yap is in it. My brain just turned off. Sorry, it's late at night. And of course, Gunny T, congrats on that big tournament, big guy. I'm sure it's going to be a huge success. We'll be advertising and telling you more about that tournament. If you're like, what you talking about? About that in tomorrow's video. So make sure you're here for it. We'll see you then for some more Snap Take. Much love, everybody. Peace.